All right, so there's a lot of people justifiably very worried about the midterms. And for those of people that are not permanently online, don't watch a lot of podcasts, it's clear what the problem actually is. But for those that are podcasting, the Tim Pools, the Candace Owenses, Nick Fuentes, you name it, Piers Morgan, everybody's complaining that the reason why the midterms are going to be lost is because of the infighting caused by people like Candace Owens. Okay? Now, look, if you don't know who these people are, it's not going to make much sense to you. But Candace Owens, as we know, is trying to capitalize on Charlie Kirk's death by making all kinds of insinuations about who was behind the killing, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't watched all of it. Usually Candace Owens has been pretty spot on things. In this case, I think she's off base from what I've heard. And when I do watch her show about the Charlie Kirk killing, the dots she's connecting seem very far apart to me. So let's put it like that. But Candace Owens and the infighting among the podcasters is not the reason why the midterms are going to be lost. The reason why the midterms are going to be lost is because Republicans and the Trump administration are not getting the shit done that needs to be done in order to secure the country in the future from all this weaponization of the Constitution and lawfare and the government and all that shit. Because Democrats are still running rampant, right? Not one person, I've said this over and over again, not one person is in jail, not one person is really getting a tough fucking crack at it. Nobody is getting held accountable for COVID, for the Twitter files, for Russiagate, for weaponizing the government against conservatives and the president himself, for any of the things, the Mar-a-Lago raids, the fucking, all the things. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's been no accountability at all, right? And I've said that maybe Trump is waiting until right before the midterms to like start locking people up, getting everybody back on the MAGA train, right? The Trump train. Let's not put it like that, because the MAGA train and the Trump train are two different things at this point. It's because there's been no accountability. It's because Trump is allowing the bombing of fucking boats coming from Venezuela, which is crazy. It's about the continuing support for Israel. It's about the continuing of throwing money at other countries instead of solving the problems in America. The idea of MAGA was America first, and that's really not how it's turned out so far this year. Okay? Yes, Trump has de-wokeified shit. Yes, Trump has been good on the trans stuff and all that shit, but that's just kind of like a reset to how it's supposed to be. That shit should have never gotten the upper hand. DEI, trans fucking ideology, cutting the nuts off children, men and women sports, men and women saunas. That shit should have never been a thing to begin with. So I would expect any president to put that shit in line right away when they get in office. So it's great that Trump did it, but that's like an obvious fucking easy, low-hanging fruit thing. But the Trump administration is getting ready to get into a war with Venezuela. They bombed Iran. They are continuing to throw money at Israel. They're continuing to throw money at Ukraine. I know that the Trump administration tries to say that that's not true, but if it wasn't, then why are they even fucking with it at all? Why don't they just walk away? You know what I mean? So the fact that they're involved at all trying to get some sort of peace deal shows that they're involved, that money is going to Ukraine, that there's still time being spent on other countries and other problems rather than those in the United States. The economy also happens to suck in the United States. Now, I know I live in Germany, but I've got lots of friends and my parents who live in America, and they're telling me the economy is total shit. Nobody still can afford anything. Houses aren't affordable for regular people. It's complete madness. Okay? And I get it. It's going to take some time to reset the economy. I'm willing to wait on that. What I'm not willing to wait on, and I think that a lot of the people in the base and a lot of the people that are voters, what I'm not willing to wait on is the accountability, the stopping the foreign wars bullshit. That shit can stop right now, right? The accountability can come right now. If Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, the Keystone cops of the FBI, would finally do their fucking jobs, and Pam Bondi would let them off the leash to finally do their fucking jobs, right? Then people would be a lot happier. But they're not, because the FBI is still lying to us about everything. They're still holding back way too much information. And it's actually kind of crazy that the public is demanding so much of this, like, so-called classified information. Well, the reason why that is because nobody trusts these institutions anymore. Nobody trusts the government anymore. Look, I'm not a super Nick Fuentes fan. I don't really watch his show, but I've watched interviews with him, and some of the things that he says make a lot of sense. One of those things is that younger people, and I'm not younger, but I am totally on their side on this, are done with the pearl clutching about the past, okay? Everybody should, and I agree with that completely. We've been, ever since I've been alive, and been making policies, rules, all kinds of political decisions based on the Holocaust and slavery and shit that's fucking far long gone. You know what I'm saying? And we get browbeaten by it, over the head beaten by it. Well, but the Holocaust, you can't ever criticize Jews or Israel because of the Holocaust. No, fuck it. Fuck that shit. The past is done. It's done. It's out of my lifetime. I don't care about that shit. I care about now. I care about the things that are happening now. I want policies to be based on reality, not past fucking ideals of how reality should have been. It wasn't that. That was not reality. Plus, another point is that young people can't be sure at all if the stories from the past, right? Things about the Holocaust, things about World War II, things about times before then. They can't be sure at all if the stories that we've been told and the lessons we've been taught at school are true at all. Because we've learned over the last decade or so, ever since the internet, that the governments all over the world, all the Western governments that claim to be transparent democracies, for the people, by the people, free speech, blah, 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 all those governments have been lying to their people through their fucking teeth about absolutely everything. So that obviously people are going to go, I wonder if the stories that they told us about World War II and shit are really true. I wonder if there's not some nuance there that I'm missing. I wonder if the stories about the slavery and all that shit are actually 100% true. And I agree with them. There's no way for us to verify it. There's no way for us to do it. The only thing we can do as people that weren't alive then is trust the people that are telling the stories about it and just go, okay, well, they must know because they wrote it in a history book or their teacher or there's some politician. So let's just follow what they say. See, those times are over. Those times are over. We're not doing that anymore. The young people aren't doing that anymore. And even though I'm almost 50, I'm not doing that shit anymore. I don't give a fuck what they say. I don't believe them. And hey, look, yeah, it's going to be a tough road ahead for the politicians and the politics and the people in power to regain trust. They may never regain it. Too fucking bad. That's their fucking fault. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm already leaning towards, I think that this whole so-called faux democracy that we all live under needs to be changed completely. I think there needs to be another system looked at. Look at Curtis Yarvin or, what's his name? Andrew Yang, for example. You know what I'm saying? I get he's a Democrat. He shouldn't be. But, hey, he's got a lot of fucking realistic, good ideas that really actually go against this whole political system that's basically been corrupted from the inside out. There's no reforming it. If Trump can't do it, get the deep state out of there and shit, then nobody's going to do it. So that means the system is rotten, and the system needs to be changed. And younger people are starting to get that on their radar. They're starting to see, it's not the people, it's the system, right? And it's the elderly fucking dinosaurs that are in the system trying to keep the status quo. And that's the fucking big problem, right? It looks like Trump's not going to be able to get the deep state out of there at all. There's way too much infighting. There's too many Republicans that are going against the grain on everything. All the things that Trump signed into law by executive order haven't been codified. The Republican Congress doesn't want to do a goddamn thing. They're sitting on their hands. It's all political theater, and there's no handcuffs clicking. There's no actual big fucking deals happening. There's no big changes for the American people. There's no big positive changes for the people living in the country and paying the taxes. It's basically just the status quo over and over again. Except this time, we see every time they're lying. We see every time that they try to obfuscate information. We see every time that they let people off, like with the Jeffrey Epstein people. They're just letting those people walk for whatever reason. They're not telling us what the reason is. They're not telling us shit about it, but we know they're lying, right? And so they're losing trust every fucking day even more. And the reasons why the Republicans are going to lose the midterms, and they probably will, I can't imagine why people would vote for Democrats. You can't let the Democrats back in power, or the conservatives and the Republicans in the country are going to be dead meat, right? These Democrats are going to go hog wild because they haven't been held to account, right? They haven't been held to account. They've got no punishment for all their actions in the last 10 years. And so therefore they can go, hey, We can get away with it. We can keep doing it. The Republicans are too weak to stop us, and they won't. And so they're going to go fucking full bore if they get power again. Democrats are, the way they are now, are a detriment and an existential threat to the freedoms of American people, right? And the country. They really are. You can't vote them back in. But that means you're left with just these fucking weak-kneed, speed bump Republicans that don't do shit. They're not getting shit done. They've got a lot of cool investigations and they got a lot of blah, blah. And they come out and tell us, hey, this person did this wrong. Obama's a traitor. Blah, blah. But nothing ever happens to the people. They're just telling us, look, they're all traitors. They all did this. We've got the proof right here. But, you know, we really can't go after them. We're not going to do anything. Okay, sorry. So fuck you people. That's what they're saying. That's the problem. Not fucking Candace Owens. You see, another thing is that what we tend to forget is that it's not Candace Owens' fault that there are so many dumb people that buy hook, line, and sinker into the shit she's saying, right? That's their fucking fault, right? If she capitalizes on dumbass people, more power to her. You know what I mean? If people are that fucking stupid and that fucking brain rotted that they follow everything somebody says just blindly without even thinking if it makes sense or not, that's not Candace Owens' fault. You know what I'm saying? That's their fault. That's their fault. Yes, people need to be more educated. And look, podcast world is a great way to do it because the mainstream media is absolutely lying to everybody about everything. They still are. They haven't changed at all. Right? So I get it. People are looking at podcasts. I watch almost exclusively podcasts. Almost exclusively get my news from X or YouTube or someplace like that. You know what I mean? Because I trust the people that are giving me that information to not lie to me about it because I haven't caught them lying before. Once I do, I'm done. Right? And that's the problem with people, is they blindly follow shit. And then it's the person that's like the leader of that group, like Nick Fuentes. Oh, he's the evil guy because he's riling up all these people. Look, no. Those people are allowing themselves to be riled up without thinking. That's not Nick Fuentes' fault. That's not Candace Owens' fault. That's the dumbass people's fault, themselves. And people start holding themselves and their peers accountable for this shit, right? You can't keep blaming the people that are capitalizing on dumbassness. You know what I'm saying? You can't. And the podcast world right now, the conservatives podcast world is infighting with each other. Oh, it's Candace Owens. We're going to lose the midterms because of this. No. The midterms are going to be lost because the Trump administration is not fucking delivering as they said they would. That's why the midterms could be lost. So my advice to the Trump administration, who's of course not listening because I'm nobody, I'm just a trucker who screams into his phone, right? So my advice would be, start arresting people. Start putting some fucking people in prison for their misdeeds, for their fucking corruption. Start doing something. Stop fucking giving our money, if you're American, to foreign countries for foreign stupid shit. Stop with the support of Israel. It's no longer popular. The younger people are not with it, right? We're done. Everybody's done with the Israel thing. They're like, okay, let Israel stand on their own 2 feet. They're an ally. Great. What have we gotten from them? I'm waiting to hear one thing. Okay. Now, all we got from them recently is they sent a pedophile who works for their government to America to try to rape a 15-year-old girl who he thought he was meeting off a chat. And when he got busted in a raid, he got to flee to Israel and never came back to face justice. That's what we get from Israel. We get a big fuck you. Thanks for your money. Thanks for your weapons. But fuck you. Right? J.D. Vance is in Israel. And one of the only things that America asked for in the ceasefire deal, it said, look, no annexing the West Bank, no annexing the West Bank. And when J.D. Vance was there, the parliament, their parliament, whatever it's called, had a vote to annex the West Bank, which is basically like, hey, J.D. Vance, go fuck yourself. Thanks for solving this issue for now, but we're going to do whatever we want. That's the kind of friend Israel is. Well, people are done with that shit. They don't want their fucking tax money going to support Israel's stupid fucking wars. They don't want it. And they don't care if you try to beat them over the head with the Holocaust and the Jews and blah, blah, anti-Semitism and blah, blah. Nobody gives a fuck. They don't care. And the more these old people try to browbeat everybody into bowing down and go, oh, yes, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I criticize Israel. So I'm an anti-Semite. Yes. No. Everybody's done playing that game. Right? So if the Republicans want to win, they're going to have to fucking earn it. If the Republicans want to win, they're going to have to fucking start working. Start doing stuff. Start doing the hard shit that may get them into bad graces with the mainstream media, or Democrats might hate them, or who gives a fuck? Do your fucking job. Right? That's what they get elected for. That's what they get all the power for. That's what they get all the money for. That's why they're allowed to illegally fucking trade in Congress. That's one of the perks. You get to fucking stock trade based on information you know ahead of time. You know, in order to get those perks, you gotta, I don't care if they get some perks. If they're delivering, fuck it, I don't care. But they're not. They're not. And that's why the fucking midterms are going to be lost, people. So stop getting everybody wild out about fucking Candace Owens and infighting amongst the Republicans and blah, blah. No, get your fucking head on straight. See where the fucking people are at and go do the things that we elected you to do. That's it. Simple as that. I was Trump supporter number one. I'm starting to lose faith in that shit. Why? I don't know if it's just Trump. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's Trump alone. I think Trump is listening to a lot of fucking people that are trying to steer him away from doing what he was elected to do. And that's a problem. So either Trump wakes up, either he whips these people in shape, or the shit is lost. And if the Democrats do get power again, America, watch the fuck out.